Okay, you guys, welcome. Thank you so much for being here tonight. If you see that somebody is not here, you want to go ahead and shoot them a little texty text to let them know. We got some good stuff happening on Team Zoom tonight. Obviously, it's being recorded, but there's nothing like being on live with somebody who is just really on fire for their business. And if there's two people who are on fire for their businesses, it's me and Briana. So we're excited to bring you guys some really good tips today. Briana, I'm going to have you start with, I think you can unmute yourself. I'm going to have you start with just telling us a little bit about, if you can't, I can unmute you, but, a little bit about who you are and yeah, just your journey with It Works kind of up till today, like whatever version of that story you want to give us, we would love to hear.
Okay. Hi guys, I'm so excited to be here. So I just want to thank you for creating space for me and everyone who is on here tonight. There's 32 of you guys. So yes, I am a little nervous, but it's totally fine. I always feel like this. So that means something good is going to come out of this conversation. So I seriously just want you guys to just be here to embrace this conversation because I try my best to make it just that. Like it's about training, but I also want it to be like a conversation because I feel like the more conversations we have, the easier it is and the less we kind of feel, like that mechanical, rotation. So I'm super excited to be here.
The less it's like me and Briana like sitting up here like telling you guys what to do, and the more it's like you're just gonna hear from two moms who found this business and allowed it day by day, step by step to impact our lives. Because that's all you might not all be moms, but that's all who you are. You guys are just people who have come into this opportunity and you want it to impact your lives. So I don't want you to see this as like, oh, like Briana's a diamond, like Hope's a triple. I used to do that all the time when I first got started. Like, oh, like they're diamonds and above, and I would put them on this whole other level. Me and Briana are just people, you guys. We're just people who have made hard decisions over and over and over and over again to find success. That's really what it is. So I'm sorry, Briana, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but like I said, we're doing this conversation style. So
yes, no, I love that. I seriously do it, and it helps me like to stay on track. So I appreciate that. But just a little bit about me. I'm from South Jersey. I'm a Jersey girl through and through. Born and raised. I'm a 27-year-old mom of two. So I have 2 parenting degrees. I have a 8-year-old daughter and a 5-year-old son. They keep me going every day. How I found this business was honestly, guys, I was just going through the motions of life. I honestly thought that working paycheck to paycheck, sometimes paycheck to Monday, was the way that I was supposed to live my life. It was really, really difficult for me because I actually walked into a job that I thought would have been a career for me. And unfortunately, I couldn't meet their criteria. And so they wound up letting me go. And for the second time in my life, I was unemployed for a length of time. And this second time around, it gave me the opportunity to really think about where I wanted my life to go. This second time around, I was able to spend more time with my children. Got to develop a stronger relationship with them. Yes, I'm their mom. And I know that might sound a little weird, but I spent lots of time away from my kids because I thought that I had to find a job, right? I had to find somewhere that would pay me more so that I can work less, or I had to find a job that would pay me more. But in reality, I was sacrificing more, and that was more time away from my kids. And so I actually stumbled across this business when I was unemployed. I had a neighbor that won a 3-day experience with the keto coffee, right? You guys hear about 3-day experiences. So make sure you are promoting that. She found it had a 3-day experience. And so I have reached out to the girl and I'm like, hey, what's up with this keto coffee? I was tiptoeing around the keto idea. And she gave me a little bit more information. I said, you know what? It's only $20. Let me try it out. Tried out the coffee. She asked me about the business and I didn't leap in at first. I was like, girl, I don't know if that's for me. I'm not really good with sales. I don't really know. I have a lot of stuff going on. I had little kids. And so eventually she messaged me again and told me that there was a $59 pack. So I was like, okay, cool. Like I can just not pay my phone bill and maybe hope that this works out. So I did that. I didn't pay my phone bill. I decided to just hop in and get started. And to be honest, I didn't come from an entrepreneurial background. Okay. I was raised by a single mom who did all the things she could to provide for our family. And that's all I knew. Yeah, she did like the Mary Kay's and the party lights and all that stuff. So I had an idea of this industry, but I really didn't understand the magnitude of how it could really impact my life. And so I started the business. Within my first 3 months went Ruby. maintained Ruby for about two to 3 months after that. And then life began to happen. And life was already happening. But for some odd reason, you know, this time around, it was just way too much to handle. So I actually dropped back down to a distributor for about 6 and 7 months. And then at one point, or for a while, I was actually not commission qualified. And so I wasn't even getting a paycheck. And so I've been with the company for 2 years, if I didn't mention that. So in 2020, obviously life happened to a lot of us and things changed on a greater scale. And so it was weird because I was actually traveling a lot more than usual and like doing things that had a little bit more freedom. And so I decided, like, why am I not really pursuing my business? Like, this makes no sense. So December of 2020, I was like, all right, Brie, you got to do it. You are here for a reason. You are here with purpose. You have to figure it out. So December of last year, I was like, I'm doing it. So by January of last year, or of this year rather, I went Emerald. So I went from a paid distributor to Emerald. And then in March, I promoted to Diamond. And honestly, the biggest difference between being a distributor and between being a Diamond is truly mindset.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yep.
And
you hit on so many things. So I'm going to start. So this is where she's at right now, you guys. She promoted to Diamond. She's looking ahead at double. Obviously, she's bringing in amazing people. I see some of your girls in the comments. They're like, you signed me in January. I love it. So I loved what you said, because it was like you were always looking for like how you can make more money, but all you ended up doing was sacrificing more. Sacrificing more time with your kids, sacrificing more sleep, sacrificing more of the things that like Briana likes to do. And I think that that's what we think of in this society. We think if I want to make more money, I have to sacrifice more things. And I think that this business is just this breath of fresh air that it doesn't make sense. Like, that's why so many people come in and they're like, I don't get it. Like, and like get scared of it and like quit, because we are so programmed to do this, like this dance around money where it's like, if I'm not working my butt off every second of every day, how can I possibly be making enough money to like survive? And so that's the mindset that we all come into this business with. So I love that. And then you were talking about sample packs. And it's actually interesting because I have been like playing around with doing more like trial packs of like all different products, because I have, Casper, I have a baby too. Probably. You want to sit with me? Okay. So I've been playing around with the idea of doing more trial packs. And then I was like, I had this moment where I was like worried about like what if that makes me miss out on customers or distributors? But like, no, you guys, when people get their hands on these products, they want to do it, because our products are just that good. So don't forget to be offering those sample packs to people. And then I love that you said, you were like, I went Ruby in 3 months and then life happened, but life was always happening. I just let it affect me more. And I think that that's the truth. I mean, how many of us have been through like the craziest life? Like, I've been doing this business so you've been in for 2 years. I've been in this business for almost 6 years. My son is only almost 2. I was a college kid. I had jobs. I worked in restaurants. We moved. I became a dog mom. We lost my husband's grandpa. I got pregnant. It was a hard pregnancy. Like, any and all of those things, I could have woken up any day and said, God, there's just too much going on. There's just too much going on in my life to do anything successful. But I just didn't. I just haven't let it like knock me off the rails. But sometimes it does. Sometimes it really does knock us off the rails. And by not knock us off the rails, I mean, like, I have never stopped doing business. And it doesn't sound like you ever like stopped. Like, it's not like you were ever like, I'm not doing that anymore. There was just a period of time where there was other things taking up your brain space. That's normal. That's human experience. But I love that you just made a choice. You went from distributor, sometimes not even commissions qualified. You guys, she went Emerald. You went Emerald like that. I love that. Can you talk a little bit about the action behind that? So like mentally you had made the decision. Then what did you do? Because I feel like that's people get stuck there. They're like, I know I want to do it, but what do I need to do? Like actionable. What do I need to do?
Okay. So I wrote down so much stuff because I can easily get sidetracked. But to be honest with you guys, I had to learn to become like myself. I really had to first of all, I really had to establish my why. And I know that so if you're a newbie, if you've been in the business for 1 to 3 months, maybe even less than that, drop a 1 in the chat. If you've been here for 3 to 6 months, drop a 2 in the chat. Hey, Ashley. And if you've been here past 6 months, sis, you're an OG. Okay. I'm gonna start. Okay. And then drop a 4 in the chat if you guys are really ready for this, because I was a little nervous at first, but because we're having a whole conversation, you're about to get the real me. All right, guys. So I'm excited to see some OGs on here. Okay, y'all. Hey, Sabrina. All right. So honestly, y'all, in order to really come back, because for real, that was a comeback. Like, I was a non-paid distributor. I just had Briana Gallon in the game. There was nothing else. There was no money coming in, nothing. I literally went from 0 to 100 like real quick. And it literally was the decision. It was the decision that even though I wasn't where I wanted to be, whether it was my circumstances, my finances, my emotional or mental health, I had to just figure it out. And I think that a lot of us get intimidated by just being ourselves, because we're like, okay, well, if I'm not like this, or if I don't look like that, or if I'm not driving this yet, or if my bank account doesn't say that yet, it's the imposter syndrome. And so I realized that I seriously had to take a step back and look in the mirror and say, who are you? And really, what do you want out of this business? What do you really want out of this business? And so learning how to be myself was honestly one of the biggest things. And then again, really establishing my why. And if I can be honest as well, I really, for a while, being in it for 2 years, obviously falling off the horse for me means that I really wasn't concrete on my why. Okay. And if you haven't really established why you're doing this business, or what you really want to accomplish doing these things, you have to take a minute, a day to let it process and really figure out why you want to do this.
Well, I love what you're saying too, because I think if I asked any one of you on the spot, why are you doing this business? I think it's really easy to just give like a generic, like, oh, I do it for my kids, or like, oh, I need to make some extra money. Mm-hmm. And that's why we all do it. We're talking about, what is it about this business opportunity, this company, these products, this moment in your life, the future that you can see in your mind that you haven't seen in real life? That's what we're talking about when we say why. Like, we're not just like, oh, why do you do this? I'm talking about why do you do this? For what? It's really what. It's like, what do you want, and for what are you doing this for? And you have to really peel back the layers of that. I don't know if any of you, I mean, it's been a hot minute since any of us were like all together for an It Works event in person, but I know it's so sad. I went to an event one time near where I live with Pam Souter, and she had us all sit in groups and say, what's your why? And then we would say it, and then they would say, but why? And then you would have to say, and then you would say, but why? And what you ended up getting down to was like, I do this business because I watched my parents struggle to support our family my whole life, how they're still struggling at over 50 years old. And I don't want that for me. And I certainly don't want that for my children. And this business gives me the opportunity to be with my son, to make the right choices for our family, to support us on unprecedented times from my phone using products that I love. Like, that's a why. Like, don't just give me like, oh, I want, like, oh, I just need some extra cash. Mm-hmm. Like, that is why you're here. That's why we're all here, is for some extra dollar bills. But if you're feeling like you're falling off, that's what Briana's talking about. If you're feeling like you're falling off, you can't stay motivated, you can't commit or be disciplined, it's because you don't have that clarity of like your purpose of what you're doing here.
Absolutely correct. That's exactly, I thank you for just reading my brain.
Yes.
So, so being myself was seriously, that really allowed me to lead my team, because I wasn't afraid anymore of trying to be somebody I wasn't. You know, I wasn't afraid of trying to keep up with everyone else. I was just learning how to be myself. And I think that when you are yourself organically, you're going to attract people regardless, because they're able to connect with you. Right. And so again, knowing your why, understanding your values, and then, and being vulnerable. So instead of just going on Facebook and and copying and pasting my, a post, or, just using the scripts as they are, things like that. Just becoming more vulnerable and solution-minded with my team as well. So when I was engaging with them, I would share with them what I've learned, but I also had to learn, because I'm still learning, because I'm human, where that fine line is, right? Because you want to have your team, you want to connect with your team, and you also want to create that community and that culture. However, you don't want a team that is looking for problems. You want your team to find the solution. And so when you are going through a valley, or when you're going through something that might be hard in life, or when you've experienced something personal that may be weighing on you, you want to be able to connect with your team and express to them, yes, I'm going through this, but this is what's helping me get through these challenges. And so learning how to overcome those things created a confidence in me that was like, you know what, I can really do this. And so, again, I had to learn how to share my truths, my challenges, and my knowledge, what I learned. And so that is really kind of what has helped me to get from emerald to diamond. But again, there is nothing that separates me and Hope from anybody on this Zoom besides making the decision to really go after what you want. So it's okay to be vulnerable with your team. I don't know if you have a distributor yet on your team. Some of you might have just started, but when you get a distributor, your first teammate, you are considered a leader. And so even prior to that, right, you have to become the leader you want to follow. And not all of us come from an entrepreneurial background. So don't feel stupid if you don't know how to have a conversation with a potential customer. Don't feel stupid if you don't know how to lead your first teammate. Don't feel stupid if you don't know all the things, because there's plenty of systems in place here. So thank goodness for that.
Well, I think that just goes right into something that you said at the beginning, which is actually something I went live in our team page about today, because it's just been hitting me so hard, which is this idea of like this business or like leadership positions being for us. Like when Briana said at the beginning, she's like, I'm not really sure if this business is for me. Like, I'm not really sure if doing this business full time is for me. I'm not really sure if being a triple diamond is for me. I'm just not right. We do this thing where we're like, I just don't really know if I'm that person. Well, what you're missing is that I didn't open up my starter kit and it was like, congratulations, someday you'll be a triple diamond. Like, no, like I started exactly where everyone else started. Briana started exactly where everyone else started. It really comes from this place of like, you just keep moving one foot in front of the other. But if you're always saying something like, well, I could never be a leader like Hope. Well, I don't think I could have a comeback like Briana. Well, I don't think I could have an Instagram like Courtney. I don't know. I don't have an RV and get to travel the country. Like whatever it may be for you, where you're like doing this separation of who you are today and where you want to be, and you can't see, like getting from point A to point B is just the work and the growth and the mindset. I didn't think I was the kind of person who could be a triple diamond when I started, but I still made it triple diamond. So stop doing this thing where you're like, well, that all sounds great and dandy, but I'm just not that outgoing. I'm just not that good at TikTok. I'm just too scared to message. You're just sitting here arguing for all of your limitations, and it just makes me so sad, because Briana just woke up one day and decided she was going to be a diamond. Briana just woke up one day and she was like, all right, I'm going diamond. This is it. Like, and she just became that person through training, through working very, very closely hand in hand with Courtney, who, if you guys don't know Courtney Van Auken, she's amazing, obviously, working very, very closely with her upline, and just learning and not being afraid to have this, like, I don't know how to do that. But instead of doing this, like, oh, I don't know how to do that, I'm so dumb. No, like, I don't know how to do this. Can you teach me? I don't know how to do this. So who can help me? Let me ask in the team page. Let me ask in the group chat. Let me message Courtney. The only stupid question is the one that you don't ask and you let discourage you. You're like, oh, I don't know this. I must just be dumb. I just won't ask. Like, no, it's like, I have no idea. I've never run a Zoom. I've never trained a new DT. I had never done any of these things that I do now, that Briana has done now. And she wasn't even doing them 6 months ago, but she learned. She grew, she learned, she asked, she put one foot in front of the other. I'm sure there was mistakes. I'm sure there were, I'm sure there was things that happened that you were like, ooh, I messed that one up. Like, but you didn't let it sink you. I think that's the big difference. You let it build you instead of sink you on the journey to becoming who you want to be. I just love that because I think we do this thing. Like, I just don't know if I'm the kind of person, honey, you get to choose the kind of person you are every single day when your feet hit the floor. Like, who says you gotta be, I mean, I know there's fear and there's self-limiting beliefs, but like, who said, like, did God come down from the sky and be like, girl, you gotta be shy and not cute and not good at Instagram? Sorry. No, nobody said that to you. You're saying it to you and you're believing it. Like, so just embrace the fact that you can wake up tomorrow and make choices to become anybody that you want to be. All right, I'm done. This is Briana's Zoom. I'm just sitting here preaching about things. It's all good.
Listen, you have my heart because I'm all for it. If you guys feel impressed, you can just share a little bit of your story in the chat too. I'd love to learn more about you guys as I move through the rest of this training. But another thing that was super important was, or along my journey, has been to learn how to take care of myself without falling apart. And I don't think that, I don't know if you guys have had a self-care routine prior to joining this business or this culture, but for me, I did not. And so I honestly lost myself when I became a mom because I was just trying to find all of the things that could help me take care of my kids. And even if you're not a mom, maybe you plan to be, maybe you're a dad, maybe you plan to be a dad, whatever it is for you. Sometimes when you add another human into this life, either you decide that you're never going to allow them to go through what you've been through, or you lose yourself in trying to survive. My mom, like I said, was a single mom. And so I seen her survive, and that's what she knew to do. And I don't know, maybe she's on here tonight. She's actually one of my Emerald leaders. All right. And she had to decide that she wasn't going to continue to suffer anymore. She wanted more out of life. She wants to buy a home, wants a newer car, wants to be able to prepare my sister and my brother for college. Right. And so we had to make the decision.
Love that. I want to say hi to Briana's mama. Like, girl, you see what you did here? You did this. You raised that. She's here. She's moving mountains. I love it. No, I love this though. And I think that so you guys note so far, you have to be authentic and you have to take care of yourself. And it's really hard to be authentic when you're not taking care of yourself. Like, I know when not to interrupt you, I know when I'm having really bad mental health days, or just like really bad days, like Casper just like got some shots on Thursday and had a really hard day on Friday. Like, I could barely be on my phone. And it was just a really hard day. And I found it really difficult to like be in my Instagram stories and like write a good life post because I was just like drained. And so if you're not filling your cup, you have nothing to pour. And I think that's what Briana is getting into here, but just make sure that you're filling your cup so that when you go to pour it, there's something in there more than a few drops,
1,000%.
I was like, Courtney, are you asking me? I'm reading The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson, and it is life-changing. It is so good. I'm gonna type it in the chat. Sorry, Briana, you go ahead.
No, that's fine. I love good books. I mean, honestly, if I could, listen, I was not a good reader, and I still am learning to make that a lifestyle habit. It's not easy, okay? Nothing in life is easy. And we have to just decide. So another way that I went from 0 to 100 is because I learned to stay connected. And that was something that was impressed from the beginning of my time here with the company. But like someone mentioned in the chat, their upline quit. And so even if your upline quit, you guys, there's 43 of us on here. That means that there's 43 people in this world right now, in this moment, who want to create change through this company. Okay, there's 43 of us that decided that tonight we're going to make time for ourselves, that we're going to make time to grow, that we're going to make time to learn. So you have to stay connected. And even if you do not have your enroller anymore, you now have me, Courtney, Sabrina, Esteline, Hope, Yami, Chastity on here. You have more than enough people that you can lean on for support. And I think that is a conversation that me and a few, women on my team have decided needs to happen more often. Just communication and conversations like this that open up the community a little bit and kind of just relax us from the everyday grind. And I'm not saying to cut that out, right? We have to hustle. That's a part of being an entrepreneur. That's a part of the process. However, having that additional support on the side, being able to communicate and relate with people is really what helps you to keep going. So stay connected and shape your thinking. These Zooms shape your mind. You don't know, and going to conference, you guys have to go to conference. It should be a non-negotiable, especially if you are challenged by your life, if you are challenged by your circumstances, if you are challenged in this business and you can't figure out left from right, you need to be a part of the community. You're not going to be you can't learn in class if you're sitting all the way in the back, your head down, hoodie on, not paying attention. You have to be sitting in the front, eyes wide open, notebook out, prepared to learn. You have to stay connected. Okay, so make sure that if Hope is doing these weekly for your team, make sure you're there. She might say something one day that maybe doesn't resonate, and then the next time she repeats it or shares it, it makes sense. And so, me being on here tonight, you guys don't understand how grateful I am for your time. And I truly hope that just one thing I say resonates with you enough to make you say, this is my time. I've waited too long, 2 weeks too long, 2 days too long. It's my time. So stay connected, shape your mind. When I began telling myself this business, hold on, let me read my notes, y'all. When I began telling myself that this business was not a competition, because Hope had mentioned it, comparison is the devil, okay? Do not compare yourself to anyone, because no one is living in your shoes. So no one understands it. No one gets it. You have to begin to tell yourself this is not a competition. And you guys might hear some incredible stories throughout this company where a person went from 0 to diamond in 3 months, because it happens. You will hear stories that say, I went Prez in a year, my second year in, we hear all the things, right? And then you have little old me who took mad long to get where I am. But Hope said, she said it. It took growth, and maybe it just wasn't my time, right? Maybe it just wasn't my time yet. And so in the process of maybe not obtaining your goals, make sure that you are staying connected and that you tell yourself things like, this is not a competition. This is a journey. Okay.
My son is having a full-fledged post-dinner pre-bath meltdown, which is why I've been muted for so long, because, he's fine. He's just almost 2 is actually the problem. The only problem is that he's almost 2. Also still not 100% from his shots, but 2 things I wanted to touch on. Number 1, you talked about community, and I want to be so clear and just from my heart when I express that there is room at the table. There is room at the table for all of you, all freaking 39 of you that are not me and Briana too, and me too, but our table just gets bigger and bigger. We put expanders in that, we pull up chairs. Like, there is not a single reason that you can't come sit at the diamond and above table, the VIP and above table. It comes back again to this, we do this separation thing. Okay, well, I think I can get to Ruby, but I just could not get to diamond. Oh God, I could get to diamond, but I just could not get to triple. It's actually funny, Briana, I don't know if you've been on Zooms where I've told my whole story, but it took me 18 months to go diamond. And I did a very similar thing where I popped off quick. I went emerald in 6 months. And then Ruby, and then executive, and then distributor, and then I built back up to diamond in 6 months after that. But it took me 18 months to go diamond from when I joined, and then another year to go double, and then 2 more years to go triple. And now I just passed a year of being triple I'm not presidential yet. And the amount of times that I've done this, like, well, in 2 years, Jade Hooper went top 10 and she's been there ever since. And here I am coming up on 6 years and I can't even go VIP elite. Like, it'll kill you. And it happens to all of us. You guys look at me and you're doing it about me, but I'm looking at Courtney and Jade and I'm doing it about them. Like, which is why you have to plug in. Which is why you have to plug in. You have to be a part of the community. You have to see that we're all sitting at the same table, going through the same things, having the same issues. My baby throws tantrums in the middle of Target just like everybody else's does. My husband says dumb crap that makes me mad just like everybody else's. My mom has negative money mindset stuff just like all y'all's family members. Maybe not Brianna's mom because she's on here, she's an emerald, she's working on it. But my mom has money mindset issues. So you can't compare because everyone's journeys is so unique, but everyone also has the same, we go through the same motions, we have to learn the same lessons. It's just the timing of it. And the things that I had to learn get me to triple, that took me, 3.5 years or 4.5 years to get to triple, is different, but the same lessons that Brianna is going to have to learn before she gets there. And we learn it at different times, at different pieces. It's all for a reason and it's all important. And I think that that's when you feel stuck, which is it's a big thing. People talk about being stuck, feeling stuck, right? And that's where Brianna was pre this mindset shift, this decision, this massive action, this getting in touch with herself, stuck, right? Stuck at distributors, stuck not being commissions qualified, stuck in not, for whatever reason, not being able to discipline herself enough to do the things that she needed to do to have the results that she wanted. So community and comparison, you guys, plug into the community and there won't be comparison, because you'll see that as much as I have done amazing things in this business, I'm also just a 26-year-old mom with mental health issues that goes through my own junk too, so not comparing is so difficult. And I think that that's, again, like, you can't, I'm really bad at math, so this is going to be terrible, but almost 6 years times 365, whatever the heck that is, of every single day me making this choice to show up. And then Brianna with like 2 years, right? And then Gwen, who is literally just about to hit her 1 month, just got her shopping sprees, now just starting to look up the pipeline, at Ruby. But you've only been in for like 29 days or whatever the heck it is. And so you can't compare my day 2,457 to your day 29. Like, you just can't do that. Like, or I mean, you can, but it'll kill you. It'll kill your motivation. It'll kill your inspiration. So you just have to think about who you want to be on your day 2,457 in this business. Like, who do I want to be when I've been in this business for 6 years and have that longevity of that vision? But yeah, just plug in. I mean, you're here tonight. There's 40 of us, it's bounced back and forth, but there's 40 of us ish on here tonight. Way more people who are going to watch the recording. This day and time just happened to not work for them, whatever. But you just being here and just plugging in, that's a win. That is a win. That is a step in the right direction. Maybe I say something, maybe Brianna says something that totally shifts your mindset on the whole thing, but you never would have heard it if you hadn't shown up tonight or if you hadn't watched the recording or what have you. So yeah, absolutely love that. So talk to us a little bit about, I mean, we all know that we all do the same things. We all post, we all message, we all host a post, we all follow up, we all personal development. Talk to us a little bit about, like, I think a lot of people on my team struggle with, like, okay, so I know what I want, I've made the decision, I know what I need to do. Now, how the heck do I do this with kids, work, family, negative people, lack of sleep, mental health issue, like, pile it all on. I got all these things. I'm a little old lady who lives in a shoe. I have 27 children, all the excuses under the sun. How do I make this business work for me, Brianna? You're a mom of 2 babies, so I know you've got some good ones for this.
Okay, so I don't know. You guys tell me how you make this work for you. Drop in the chat at least one thing you do to make this business work for you. And if you, like Jade says, are not naked or doing something illegal, please make sure that you are on the camera. Because my time is just as valuable as yours, and you guys won't get this time back, right? So when you're here, be here, be here learning and growing. And then as soon as we hop off, trust me, you guys won't ever have to hear from me again unless you want to. Okay, sorry, just throw that out there. Yeah, just so make sure you guys are here. Make sure that you're soaking in all the good things. Okay, so yeah, I am a mom of two. Like I said, I have a 5-year-old son and an 8-year-old daughter. My 8-year-old daughter actually has intellectual challenges, and so I learned that as she went into preschool. And so that was another reason why I knew that I could not keep taking time away from my kids. You know, I couldn't. I knew that I had to be an advocate for her. And as I grew in that advocacy community, I knew that there was a need for moms like me who were out here leading. And so how I made it work was basically what I didn't have growing up were boundaries. Just being honest. I didn't have a lot of boundaries. And so walking into a business owner mindset, walking into an entrepreneurial space, creating those boundaries were still hard. It was, you know? And so I had to learn to just be intentional with my time. And again, still, that is hard for me because, guys, it's a journey and it's lifestyle habits that you're creating. And so if it takes 21 days to build back, like, just think about it. Like when you gain weight, right? My mom's like a part of this cooking class and she's like talking about things she's learning. As you grow, as you're putting on weight, right? Does it take overnight to gain 20, 30 pounds? H to the no, right? It takes time to gain weight.
It takes one box of Cheez-Its a week for 8 weeks. And Hope would know because that's what she eats when she stress eats.
So it takes time. And it's going to take time for you to also create lifestyle habits. And being intentional with your time is 100% where it starts. You have to tell your time where to go, guys. If you're waking up at 7:30 and then hopefully by 8 o'clock you have your kids ready for school, and then hopefully by 9:30 you listen to personal development, and then maybe around 11:30 you'll start preparing lunch for the day. Like, no, we have to like really be intentional, because for most of us this is not yet our full-time career, and for many people this may not be what you want to do full-time. Right? You may be working a full-time job that you love. Maybe you just want to drop down to part-time. Maybe you're trying to pay off some student debt. And so just because this is a full-time career for me and Hope doesn't mean that it's for you. Yeah. And so either way, you have to learn to tell your time where to go, because if you are working full-time or you're in college and you work, right, you don't have 16 hours a day where you can work your business. You have to say, okay, between this time and this time, this is what I'm doing. Between this time and this time, this is what I'm doing. Courtney Van Auken went freaking triple and above, right? By going, when she went to the bathroom, she would be messaging. When she was on her break, she'd be messaging. And so during the times of day where you can work your business, if this isn't full-time for you yet, you have to do income producing activities in the time that you have. Okay. So that's really what it was. Like, it was, when I made the time, it had to be income producing. Because if you guys don't know, posting stories and posting life posts don't pay you. They don't pay you. And so if you looked at my page, you'd be like, wow, girl, like you really do the thing. You must really get a lot of customers. Maybe you sign a lot of teammates because you're posting consistently, right? But if you're not working your business by messaging and getting the word out, you're not going to grow your business. We get paid by enrolling distributors, helping them build their business, and by getting customers. Okay. So you have to learn that. You have to learn to make sure that you're doing income producing activities. And that's really, and messaging. Okay. So a lot of us cringe. Drop a 3. No, because we're past 3. Okay. Drop a 6 in the chat. If when somebody tells you to message, or messaging like literally freaks you out, or messaging, it just like it, you're just like, no, it's just not my thing. I don't want to. Okay. I don't want to message. I don't want to message. We get so caught up in messaging, in the action of doing it. But what we should really try to change our mindset to is the outcome of that. Not necessarily the action, but the outcome. If I message 25 people, what the outcome of that would be. If I message 100, 200, 300 people, what the outcome of that would be. And I think that would take away the fear of doing the actual messaging. And let's be honest, even 2 years in, I'm still like, do I really want to go send 25 messages? Thank you, Courtney. So actually, you guys can definitely take the message Courtney just posted in the comments, and you can go message 25 people.
Yep. And I think that it's getting caught between, also, sorry, my internet literally just decided to not exist for a moment. So that's why I disappeared, but I'm back. If you just stop allowing the space between like having the thought of like, oh God, I should go send messages. And then you're creating too much space before you just go do it. Like, you're creating too much space for the overthinking and the fear and the self-limiting beliefs and all of these things to like spin around in your head. When you get the hit to go send messages, you need to just go send them. You need to just go send them. Just go send them out. Go send 25. Go send 25. Because the more action that you take, the more results you're going to see. And that's exactly what Briana was just talking about, focusing on the results, focusing on the outcome. What your life, what your business would be like if you reached out to 100 people every single day instead of the maybe none, but maybe 15, 20, or 30 people that you're doing right now. All progress is good progress. I don't think either me or Briana would sit here and tell you like, don't message 30, messaging as many as you can is important, but think about the impact of messaging 50 people or 70 people or 100 people versus messaging 20. That's what we're talking about, the impact. Also, I'm going to add on to this. There's 40 people on here. I would love you to drop a 7 in the chat if the person who introduced you to It Works gave you a gift, gave you a blessing. If your life was blessed the day that somebody introduced this business to you. Yeah. So why are you not going out and offering this gift to other people? It's a gift. It's a blessing. It is literally, besides my son and my husband, this business is the best thing in my life because of the friendships, because of the freedom, because of the products, because of the community, So so Jordana just said, I said, why aren't you reaching out to me? She said, because I'm a chicken. Then you're making it about you. You're making it about you. What if you started making it about all of the people in the world who need this more than ever right now? Like, that is what, like, there have been so many days in so many ways that I have not wanted to reach out to people. And then I have people like, I'll just list, like Ashley Avery. Her and I talked forever about doing this business. She has a son just like I do. Caitlin Jones was a customer of mine. She just went executive last month. She's got 2 babies at home. I didn't even enroll Miss Kylie Pops, but somebody that I enrolled. So I reached out to somebody who then reached out to her, and now her life gets to be changed, and she is pushing for double diamonds. Like, all of these people on my team right now, Tiani, Vanessa, all of you and all of your families, and you were just somebody that me or somebody on my team messaged probably about doing a host a post or buying some coffee. Like, I made the best friends of my life asking them if they wanted to buy a wrap from me. Like, can we it's not about the message, and it's not about the people who don't like your messages. It's about the people who you meet and you connect with. It doesn't matter the message. Literally, Sunday nights never work out for her, and it's such a bummer. But my friend Danielle, who ended up being the very first distributor on my team, I literally wasn't even part of this business yet. I was trying to pre-sell my wraps on Facebook to make the money to start. And I messaged this girl who I barely knew and was like, do you want to buy a toning body wrap from me? And she literally became my best friend. We're both moms now. We both do this business full time. Stop being afraid of making best friends. Stop being afraid of the beautiful, incredible connections that you're going to make through doing this business, because you're afraid that somebody who doesn't want to be your friend, who doesn't care about you, who doesn't pay your bills is going to tell you not to message them anymore. All of the people who have ever told me not to message them anymore, I don't remember their names, but I see the names of the girls who are on the Zoom, who are on my team, who are changing their life, and that's who I focus on. So That's my story about messaging. I literally made one of my very best friends, not just business either, you guys. Me and Danny are like close. She lives by me. We get to raise our babies together because I messaged her to buy a freaking wrap. One of the first 50 messages I ever sent, I think. I would take all of the no's. Oh my God, Sabrina, chills. I would take all of the no's and all of the hate and the Instagram accounts that were made making fun of me and the anti-MLM TikToks that I scroll across on my page. I would take all of it to keep the friends that I have now, the friendships and the relationships and the incredible women that I've met through this opportunity. Yeah, not like together, but you know, we can have babies together. That's fine, Courtney. It's not weird at all. No, for sure, you guys. It's stop blocking the blessing because you're afraid of the people who aren't the blessing. Like your fear, your wall about messaging, about post to post, about making a vulnerable life post, about making reels and TikToks, all it's doing is putting a wall between you and whoever's trying to find you, whoever God has placed in for you to find. That's all you're doing. So take down the wall. Break down the wall. Let them come in. Let them find you because you're being you, right? Just like Briana was talking about, you're being you. You're sharing your why. You're being authentic and you're showing up every single day and you're putting in the action so that you can find them. Because my life would be so sad without all of the people that I found through this opportunity. So sad. Briana, do you have more notes, girlfriend?
I just have like 5 more minutes and then I'm probably done.
Okay.
And I basically it's gonna bounce off because I know that we have the family.
No, hit me.
Okay. So just a little bit more.
Yes.
Okay. So bouncing off what Hope said, you like creating deeper relationships with not only like with people in this company. I think that, you know, as I mentioned that my enroller quit, both of my uplines quit. My enroller and her upline quit. And so I just am so grateful that I do have Courtney, and that kind of opened the door for Sabrina. And now I have a relationship with Yami and Carmen. Like she said, her upline quit too, but guess what? Me and her are friends now. And these people, some of them, I can't wait to go visit. I can't wait to meet some of them in person. Chastity, I can't wait to hug her. Like you guys, start creating deeper relationships with the people in this community because I can guarantee you when you start, you are going to literally find your best friends. Drop a 10 in the chat. If you were like me and didn't have a lot of friends in high school or a lot of friends, I don't know, in college, but I definitely was like that introvert that like kind of like to stay to myself. I definitely, and even still to this day, I really don't have a lot of friends outside of this community. I'm just being 100% because most people, at least where I live, really ain't on this lifestyle. Like they're not living this lifestyle like that. So I absolutely love this community. And when you really start to embrace the community and really start to take it for what it is, you will seriously find people you love. And how amazing is that? Literally people from 18 to when they croak over, and I'm sorry, that sounds funny probably, but there are people from all ages. There's so much diversity here. So it doesn't matter if you're a 50-year-old divorcee. It doesn't matter if you're a 27-year-old widow. It doesn't matter if you are an 82-year-old mom with 42 kids. There is someone here that you can connect with, okay? Trust me.
A little old lady who lives in the shoe with 27 children and doesn't know what to do.
She's here. She's probably here on this Zoom right now.
She probably is.
Just saying. So create relationships, commit to that. Create a no blame, no shame, and no complain culture. Okay. No shame.
Can you say that a little slower? No blame.
No blame. No shame. And no complain community. Okay.
All right.
It has to be done. It has to be done. So learn what empowers you so that you can empower other people. Be genuine and create connections, like I mentioned, and also learn how to let go. Sometimes you have to let go of people that you are surrounding yourself with. It is imperative that you are aware of who you're really spending your time with. And that's why I say when you plug into this community and you are surrounding yourself with like-minded people, it is only going to help empower you, because those people, especially if they're holding you accountable and they love you like that, they're not going to just let you quit because you're having a bad day. They're going to say, girl, go listen to this podcast real quick. Yo, go read this book real quick. Go watch this YouTube video. We're going to begin to empower each other. So learn to let go of people, because your circumstances, your past, your flaws, people around, the hardest decision is letting that stuff go. That's it. The hardest decision is letting that stuff go. So when you decide to move forward, you can release the shame. You can release all that crap, drop it off at the pool, right? And regain your confidence and step out of the dark. Just by this simple conversation, Hope and I are being the light, hopefully, to somebody here that needs to hear it tonight. So evaluate your circle and really create deeper relationships with your community.
And I was gonna say, and on that note, expect more from your circle.
100%.
Expect more from your circle. Like, I'm not gonna call her out, but somebody messaged me and was like, I'm just having a really bad day. Can I call you? And I was like, you can, but I'm gonna set a timer for 5 minutes and then I'm gonna stop you. And she was like, you know what? Just kidding. I'm not gonna call you. And I was like, exactly. Let's do this thing. It's month end. Let's not, you guys need me to be here for you. I am here for you, but I am not gonna let you wallow. I am not gonna let you spiral out of control. I will be here. I will listen. I'm your friend. But in 5 minutes, I'm going to tell you that it's time to dry your eyes and listen to something good and go. You know, it's not this toxic positivity. Everything's great all the time. It's no blame. We don't blame anyone else for our problems, or our circumstances, or our teams, or anything else. We don't blame. We take responsibility. We don't shame. We don't sit in shame, whether it's from what we did yesterday or what somebody told us 10 years ago. We don't sit in it, and it's no complaint. And sometimes there is, I think, a strong difference between like, oh my God, I just got to like get this stuff off my chest. But then you just like hop back in the seat and you're like, okay, let's go. So if you need to take 2-3 minutes, message a trusted upline, message somebody in your circle and be like, look, I'm just going to record. Sometimes I do this. Look, I'm just going to record you this voice message real fast. You don't even need to listen to it. I just need to breathe 60 seconds of like, oh my God, I'm feeling some type of way. Now we're good. It's out of I breathe it out like dragon fire and we're done. And I'm not going to complain about it anymore. You can't because you don't want to do the toxic positivity. We don't want to do this. So everything's great all the time. Can't. I literally have anxiety. There are some days that are just real funky up here in my brain. I can't just be like, so it's fine. No, I can't function like that. But you can't sit in it. And that's what you're saying. You can't sit in it.
Yes. All right. So this is for the last thing. Okay. Once you guys decide, each of you, so Vanessa, that means you, Melissa, Gwen, Ashley, Lisa, Hannah, Brandy, Sharice, Teresa, Kylie, MJ, hey boo, Sarah, Brooke, Faith, Courtney Van Auken, shout out to you, Hope, Chastity, Carmen, Yami, Esteline, hey y'all. Once you decide that you are tailor-made for this company, for this community, for this industry, for your team, that you are exactly who you need to be, you are exactly where you need to be. Okay? When you decide that, you will be unstoppable. Okay? You literally need to decide that you are made for this. You are. There's 40 of us, guys. We're still here. We're made for this. When you make that decision, you will go from ruby to diamond real quick. You will go from diamond to triple real quick when you make the decision that you were made for this, that you have freaking substance here. Okay, so understand that you can't write a check with nobody's opinions, okay? And that their decision, that yes or no that you might get when you message, that yes or no when you ask them to become a part of your team, that yes or no when your husband is like, stressing you out, or your kid is having a meltdown, or your doctor doesn't tell you the news you want to hear, or your best friend calls you with something. You guys, that their decision does not declare your destiny. You can't make deposits with opinions, and their decision does not declare your destiny. So do not allow anyone to knock you off balance. You are the only one that stands in the way of your success. So remember that you are tailor-made, that you are here for a reason. You are a part of this company for a reason, and just learn to become the most authentic version of yourself. Whether you are dealing with mental illness, whether you are dealing with, the color of your skin, whether you're looking yourself in the mirror and you hate yourself, whether you're looking at you're living in life and you can't even fathom why you are dealing with certain circumstances. You have to remember and come back to, you are here for a reason, and that there are 40 other people right now in this moment that love you and want to see you succeed.
Mm-hmm.
That's 100%.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Briana, dropping the mic, and I'm so proud of you. I know you're on my team. I am so proud of you. Watching somebody sink and glow back up is my vibe, because it's not always a straight shot to the top. It hasn't been a straight shot for me. It hasn't been a straight shot for my team. And it's important to hear it. It's important to hear the journey and the story of somebody who didn't just come in and go freaking presidential diamond in 4 months. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so valid. It's so important. So thank you. Just thank you. Thank you so much. We're taking that team hustle and heart. You heard her. No blame, no shame, no complain. Like, literally new team motto. I'm so here for it. It's not even funny. Thank you so much. Family call is starting. Let's all go see what Mark and Cammie and Mike got up their sleeves for us this week. This recording is going up on my YouTube as soon as possible. I'll make sure it gets spread around, and I hope we all just have the most amazing week. But this week, you guys, happy Sunday. Thank you so much, Briana, so much. Bye, guys. Have a good one.